Did you know that Alexander the Great was assassinated by his own bodyguard? Well, technically it wasn't his bodyguard's fault. You see, his bodyguard was a short, stocky man who preferred to remain anonymous. And he only did what he did because he was having a really bad day. You see, Alexander the Great had woken up that morning feeling like a god. Why wouldn't he? He had just conquered the known world, or at least most of it, and soon he would add the rest to his ever-growing empire. In fact, he planned to do just that today. He was going to march his army south to take on the Indian king Paris, who had the audacity to resist Alexander's rule. But first, Alexander needed to get his armor on. And who could put on armor in the morning without getting at least a little bit annoyed? Not this guy, apparently. He needed 8 men to help him wrestle into his royal robes, breastplate, and helmet. It was a lot of work to be a god, especially since no one else in the known world was around to help. Finally, after what felt like hours, though it was really only a few minutes, Alexander was ready to ride. He swung himself onto his warhorse, and the two of them thundered out of the palace and toward the nearby hills where his army waited. As they rode, Alexander noticed something in the grass, a small, unassuming plant with tiny white flowers. He stopped to take a closer look, because he had never seen anything quite like it before. And so it went unnoticed when a small group of soldiers approached them from behind and an arrow loosed from a bow. It struck Alexander in the thigh, just grazing him. But if the assassin had only known, he would have aimed for the knee. You see, Alexander's armor was made of bronze, but bronze doesn't protect against arrows all that well. In fact, the shaft of the arrow broke off inside of Alexander's leg, and there was nothing his armor could do about it. Alexander roared in pain and in anger, drawing his sword and turning to face the soldiers, but it was too late. The short, stocky bodyguard had seen enough. He launched himself at the horse's head and stabbed Alexander in the chest, right in the spot where the armor was thinnest. Alexander looked down to see the arrow protruding from his chest, and he knew what had happened. He had been betrayed, yes, but also, and this was perhaps even more ironic, killed by the one person whose job it was to protect him. So remember, friends, whether you are a great conqueror or a short, stocky bodyguard, life is short, the ancient world is vast, and sometimes an arrow in the knee is just an arrow in the knee. Subscribe to the Sleepy Philosopher for more history, softly told.